Hey everybody, it's Brandon, and I am here with John Watson. He has got a backer kit project he wants to tell you about. How's it going, John?
It's going great, Brandon. Thanks for having me on the show.
Great. I like your shirt. I mentioned that to you when we first got on. So you're definitely geared up. So tell us about this project you've got.
So the project is Dungeon Dwelling Creatures. It's a DCC Dungeon Crawl Classics compatible source book that's well its own system, excuse me, where you play instead of the adventurers, you play the monsters.
That's fantastic. And was there any type of inspiration for that you just thought about it like out of the blue, or did you? I know there's some video games that kind of do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was driving back from the long con in East Texas, where I know you're friends with David Beatty, and
Sure.
he goes there too. And we were chatting about Weird Frontiers, and I was thinking, what kind of because there's a lot of other genres that are in Dungeon Crawl Classics. You got sci-fi with Starcrawl, Mutant Crawl Classics, and even I know Dinosaur Crawl Classics they're working on or something like that. And now X Crawl you've got, and I was like, what is there that's kind of missing? And when I was younger, I loved the Humanoids Handbook for Second Edition D&D, and I was like, that's it. You can play the monsters literally just on the car drive back from the convention.
It's really amazing you say that because like it is you think about it, it's kind of a simple idea, but then also you're like, no one's done it and I'm gonna do it. Like it's great. It's out there, it's something for me to go ahead and grab and try to make for people. So I really also like the name it's dungeon crawling creatures, right?
Bruh.
Dungeon dwelling creatures.
Dungeon dwelling creatures.
Yeah.
So did that something you just came up with out of your head? Because I know some names of stuff, even like Weird Frontiers, its history. Coming up with that was like a challenge. So how was making that name?
So I wanted it to be, kind of similar to an acronym like DCC, but different where people, knew, oh, this is DDC. I even tried at one point to rebrand it as just creatures, and DDC has apparently taken off. Like everybody that's
Okay.
been a fan now, that's what they call it.
Okay.
But that was really the reason. At first, we were trying to do Eddie Bartlett and I, who's the other co-author of it. And we've got a lot of other authors working on it too. But we did Horde Crawl Classic, and then when we talked to Goodman, Joseph Goodman, great guy, he was like, "Well, gentlemen, there's something that we got coming out soon that it might be confused for that. We don't want that." And that was the only reason we changed it. So we actually took a long time to decide on the name. But once we came to that, I really liked this one.
I think that's great. So tell us what this on the backer kit side of it, like what is this project going to be like for someone who wants to back this? So what like what's the size of the book? What's the scope, the contents, and then any type of like stretch goals, add-ons. I'm not exactly sure how backer kit works. I'm very used to, of course, Kickstarter, but tell us about what they can expect once this goes live and when it goes live.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're launching on August 1st at Gen Con. We wanted to get it available to more people so they could back it. And it's about, like you said, we're playing, creatures instead of the adventurers. There's no elves, anything like that. I mean, it can be in those same worlds if you want it to be, and we even write rules for that. And I want to explain that, and this was an idea Beatty gave me. At one point, I did want to have like one of the races be able to take classes. He said, no, these should all be race classes, John. I was like, you nailed it. That's exactly right. There shouldn't be a single one. And they're not, the orc isn't like a reskin of the warrior. The goblins, because it's not goblin, it's goblins. You play a pack of goblins. They're not a
That's
reskin of
great.
the rogue. They're their own thing that's basically like playing a bunch of slightly stronger funnel characters. Not that much, but a bunch. Like, by level 10, you've got 11 of them, So it's, difference. That's one of the biggest differences. A lot, of course, see a lot of stuff with DCC, regular DCC in there, the critical hit charts, but we use the monster critical hit charts, which is fun. We're going to do some changes because some of them don't make sense. Have already worked through that and got permission from Joe. Additionally, one of the bigger changes is Vile. Instead of luck, we felt that monsters shouldn't have luck. That's something exclusive to adventurers. So monsters have Vile, which works pretty much like reverse luck, where you spend your Vile to reduce anybody else's roll. And then there's some other couple of things each monster class can do with Vile as well. Those are the big things about it. The book is going to be 200 pages, hardbound. We'll also have an option for a leather-bound edition. Beatty helped me with that, so probably you can expect that with some of the same quality from his Weird Frontiers book. Ours is going to be a little smaller though than that because that
I
thing's a
would say
massive
so.
tome. And we worked with gosh, I can't remember the name of the company, Impact Miniatures for official bunny-sided dice.
Oh,
They're
nice.
actually sending me a sample right now that'll be official for Dungeons and Creatures. Also, we've got a lot of really neat dice trays. This is just, I should have grabbed a good one. It's in color, but this is one of the prototypes, to sit your funky dice on it. There's a much better one that we've worked with a company on that looks just brilliant. I should have thought to grab one for your show here,
It's all
but
good.
it looks amazing. And we'll also do some t-shirts and stuff too. Not necessarily like this. I've got some different styles and stuff that we've got some people working on, and maybe a couple other little things. We do have Matt D'Amico wrote an adventure for this that's going to be a stretch goal most likely, or an add-on, excuse me. We even got David Beatty to write some magic for this. We got, Stefan Surratt, who's done a lot of things as well, wrote some stuff. And then even Brandon Lassell wrote an extra class for us that will be a stretch goal too. And there's going to be some other cool things added in there as well. A lot of exciting stuff for those that back it, and then many different pledge levels depending on how much you would like to or can contribute to it.
That sounds great. And you've got a quick start out there, which I'll have like a link down in the description if people want to go check it out. Of course, for everybody, I'll have a link down in the description to the backer kit kind of preview. Is that available for everybody right now to look at?
Yes, yes, the splash
Okay,
page is up and running.
great. So we'll have that. That way you'll have that there. And what I'll probably do is when it comes time to launch, I'll do a post. So everybody that follows my channel, they can see that, hey, it is live. But how is the quick start different than what the customers are going to get when this is fulfilled?
So the quick start rules, we wanted to get it out there because we intended to release it a little bit earlier, but we wanted it to be right. And the quick start rules are up to level 2. All the monster classes, you can do everything you need to play to second level. You have in there. You even got some spells. There's a sample adventure that Stefan Surratt wrote that you can run with your the gang of players there in about 3 to 4 hours, somewhere in there. So it's got all the basics rules and about I think roughly 5 spells for the classes that we have in there. So we've got 3 that can use magic. And the only thing it's really missing is, well, of course, the other 8 levels. The vial stat, what that's like, we just kind of left it. We do mention in there, it doesn't have all the rules for it. It's some of the basic rules. So you can do it kind of quickly because there's a little bit more to vial now than that'll be in the full 200 plus page book. And then that's pretty much it. Besides, there's a couple of new weapons we added, just a whip and a great club. Oh, pardon me, 3 and a pick, like a military pick that you use to fight people with. And that's pretty much in the quick start. Will get you kind of the basics, and also it's kind of good there. We wanted it if you're running the game and you have your main book, you could give those to your players, and they could pretty much follow along with that without any experience.
Sounds great. So when do you think that, and of course, as always, whenever you're making a crowdfunding project like this, when do you think it'll be available for people to buy, or when the backers will actually get it? Do you have any type of time frame there? I know that can always, it's always difficult, always challenging.
Yeah, it is absolutely. But I've always stood by my mentor that has going to help me out a lot, Lester Smith, that's been in game design for a long time. He mentioned to me at one point, John, he said, look, it's just laziness. You can't meet your deadline on some of these delivery goals. And I do agree with that because I know we've all been there where we're back to crowdfunding and it's taken forever or sometimes hasn't ever reached us. While I've only done 2 personally, not to say, I've worked at Torg Eternity and all that for a long time. All the ones that I've done, and you, the fans, you have my commitment. It will be there on time, if not early. I give myself additional time to be safe in the case there is a printing problem or something occurs, because you shouldn't be sitting around. You paid me to do this for you. I'm going to get it out to you on time. So we have it set for a year, maybe a year and some change, I think, but I don't foresee it taking that long at all. I would say probably next year at the latest, Q3 at the latest. I would say next year is when it'll be available for everybody to purchase as well.
That sounds good. Is that going to be, there's not going to be is there going to be a print on demand version, or is this going to be strictly offset printing?
I haven't given that a ton of thought. I'm thinking to do both. I try to do a hybrid of them because sometimes I know Weird Frontiers is hard to get your hands on
Yeah.
now because
Yeah.
Beatty just does all of his on his own, and then he'll sell them to whomever, like Goodman Games and such. They sell like that, so I don't want to run into that with the fans, but probably a hybrid, honestly.
Okay, great. Well, I'm excited about it. Honestly, when you sit in this stuff and I started hearing, I was like, wow, he got this going good. And I like the different types of monsters you can play. How exactly do all the monsters, I know there's a bit of a story going on. How do they all come together? Because a lot of these monsters, you think of them, and I think the goblins thing is just absolutely genius. That's just me. I think that's great. It reminds me of like red shirts, like a bunch of red shirts from Star
Yeah,
Trek. But
exactly.
how do they work together? Like, is there something that's kind of bringing them together to because some of them are kind of solo
Mhm.
monsters.
Yeah, some of our solitary. So we'll have a section in the book on how to do that. And some people have it's amazing the ideas they've come up with. One of my friends, Frank Bidwell, he came up with an idea for an all orcs group. And one thing that's cool about the orc class or race class is that if there are more of them, they like work each other up into a rage and they actually deal more damage. So you can, if you have a party of like 6 orcs, you're going to be doing some serious damage. Now, now you don't have magic or anything like that, so there are some consequences. But that's one is I've seen a lot of people come up with ideas of all goblins, which if you think of that with how many characters, that could be like 50 people in a party technically, which would be kind of fun. People have talked about maybe completely undead campaigns, and then we'll put in there, if you go into a dungeon typically, yes, there's typically a predominantly one kind of monster like an orc dungeon, but then you'll run into pockets of these things here and there. And one of the premises is too, I mean, if you really think about it from even a socially conscious perspective, how are adventurers not committing genocide potentially by doing this? So it could be a good reason to bond all these different creatures together. Hey, we're tired of this. We're gonna take the fight to them. So we present a lot of different ideas on how to do that in there.
That sounds great. I feel, and I'm so glad that you reached out to me about this. Let my viewers know about it because, it's kind of like a thing, a mutual thing with us is like, I want your product to be seen by people and try to help and try to get out the word. And that's one thing I really like about the DCC community is that we feel like we're helping everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, with other projects and people, we know that there's a certain amount of people that are going to help us push our these products that are coming out. So anything that we can do to help. And I know those people will be there for you. And I feel the way when you're talking to me like this, that this is like your game, right? I mean, this is you've got the shirt, you've got it all kind of planned out. This is your kind of weird frontier from Beatty. Like this is your thing, and I'm really glad you were able to grab it. It feels like you got a lot of passion for it. So, is there anything else you'd like to say about it as we wrap up?
Yeah, there's going to be more goodies on the kicks or the crowdfunding, excuse me,
Yeah, always
backer kits
Kickstarter.
out there. Yeah, I always do that too. I think we all do. Some people, it's like brand name association, whatever
Yeah,
it's called. But yeah,
Kleenex.
there's going to be even there's going to be even more stuff on there. At conventions, if you do sit down at my table or one of the other contributors' tables, we might even have a special prize for you.
Cool.
And we'll be at Gen Con this year here in less than 30 days actually,
Yeah.
and we'll definitely be handing out some special stuff there to people that play in our games.
That sounds great. Well, I hope this has been educational for everybody. I hope that they all check it out. And like I said, I will have a post whenever it goes live so people can kind of be refreshed with it, that it's out there and available. And good luck to you and this project. I know it's going to do really, really well. And it's going to be something that we're going to get. And I'm certain there's going to be a lot of content you're going to be able to give them. And it's got a lot of future to it too, if you think about that kind of untapped area. So, I do appreciate you showing up, and I hope everybody will check it out. And thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Brandon.
Thanks, y'all.